Hello Charstin agus fáilteamh go Speak Gaelic. Welcome to Speak Gaelic. I'm in dáchas go bhfuil sibh go maith. The theme of today's programme is h-ath, work. h-ath. And as usual, I have a very fitting Gaelic saying for you. Ní immer wav an nupper utram. In English, many hands make light work. Ní immer wav an nupper utram. And is only one of the many new phrases you'll hear over the next half hour. So let's see what's coming up in this episode. We'll talk about work.
I'm driver. She driver Laria Hannum.
Calum Maclean makes a new friend in Ayrshire. How to ensure you're being seen and heard.
Bheil sibh bheathaichean,
And we meet Mirren Buchanan, who tells us about her Gaelic learning journey. h-ath. There's a lot coming up. h-ath. A bhfuil sibh díseal. Let's get started and speak Gaelic. We're going to start off with a little bit of revision. Do you remember the phrase we learned in Series 1 of Speak Gaelic? To tell someone what you do. Sé nurse hunam. I'm a nurse. Sé nurse hunam. Or, if you're a teacher, sé teacher hunam. Sé teacher hunam. However, there's another way to tell someone what your occupation is. You can say, Hami namo teacher. Hami namo teacher. What we're literally saying here is, I am in my teacher. And remember, the pronoun mo lenites, softens the next word. So teacher becomes teacher. Namo teacher. Namo is usually shortened to nam. So it becomes hami nam teacher. Nam teacher. I'm a teacher. Hami nam teacher. To ask someone what their occupation is using this construction, you say, Evilu nado teacher. Nado is usually shortened to nat. So it becomes Evilu nat teacher. Nat teacher. Evilu nat teacher. Do also causes lenition, which is why we say teacher. With these evil questions, you'll remember we answer using ha or chanil. Yes or no? Here are some more examples. Hami nam nurse. I'm a nurse. Hami nam nurse. And if you want to say I'm a lawyer, Hami nam nech lugge. Hami nam nech lugge. Now let's see what kind of jobs are being discussed in this conversation.
Hello Charstin, ha carriage cannon Muireann. Hello Emma. Is Muireann Bochanan. Cymru how?
I'm a Gàidhlig tapaidh agus toirt féichcin.
Hello Emma, it's Misha Seamus. Coas a how?
Ha mi as a germaltje Hamish. Ha mi a furach an the München. Ba mi a furach an the Glasgow an bliane.
Hi Emma, it's Misha Katrina. I'm Misha a furach an Madrid. Do you know what a hacket?
Fesker ma Katrina. Ha Madrid cho bria. Sé nurse hanum. Ba mi nam nurse an the Glasgow agus inisje ha mi a lorach upper an the München.
She polis a Hannan Andra.
Sé polis a hanum. Ha mi a fúdach out sa Gairistan, ha mi nam folis, agus ha mi nam chruistjit.
Ha Andra na chroichat, just saharne.
A vil upper ak het heet de Hamish.
How bedakam Emma? Ha mi driver. She driver Laria Hannum.
Chanur in Joos drijvig. Kaatje wil u a furach.
Ha mi fudach an an arkiv. Ha mi a gubbad nam driver an the ballin a chaklische.
Ha mi god tolletje kan je gegeven. O, dullige getriene, tjen op haar haketse.
Shenjach freely a hanumse. Hij café ek mofadentin in zavale. Ha me go per aan sa café ak.
Na chelu na advantage de getriene.
Well, Muireann ha me num vantages.
Muireann ha mission am hitcher. Bi mi a checkes germaltjes.
Agus Muireann ha Andra na chroichat.
Well, ha si na could falt je eòlas Emma.
And the lenshiv in Corrig of a shit. Did you follow that conversation? And the lensiv and corich of h-ath. Let's run through some of the occupations discussed. We heard both ways of describing what it is you do. Emma told the group, "Sé nursa hunnam." I'm a nurse. Sé nursa hunnam. And went on to explain, "Vaminam nurse aun yn Gwasachu." I was a nurse in Glasgow. Vaminam nurse aun yn Gwasachu. Andra told everyone he was a police officer. Haminam follis. I'm a police officer. Haminam follis. But he went on to add, agus haminam chroicher. And I'm a crofter. Agus haminam chroicher. Seamus told everyone, haminam greiver. I'm a driver. Haminam greiver. And he went on to explain what he drives. He's a driver lorry, a lorry driver. A driver lorry. What about Katrina? In her own words, sé neach fríhalí hunnamse. Neach fríhalí is a waiter or waitress. Neach fríhalí. And she says unnamse instead of unnam for emphasis. Sé neach fríhalí a hunnamse. We also heard how to say what someone else does. Seamus told Emma, sé polis a haun an Andra. Andra is a police officer. Sé polis a haun an Andra. Seamus then commented on Andra's part-time job and said, ha Andra na chroicher just saharne. Andra is a crofter on Saturdays. Ha Andra na chroicher just saharne. We say na chroicher when referring to a male. If we were talking about a female, we would say na chroicher without lenition. Na chroicher. Let's listen to some of these phrases again.
Sé nurse hanam. Ba mi nam nurse an Glasgow agus inisje ha mi a lorach opper an de muntje.
Sé polis a haun an Andra.
Sé polis a hanam. Ha mi fúdach out sa Gailistan, ha mi nam follis, agus ha mi nam chroichtjit.
Ha Andra na chroichad, just saharne.
Bheil opper ac a de hamish.
How bedacam Emma? Ha mi nam greiver. She driver lorry a hanam.
O, dullige getriene, tjen opper haketse.
Sé neach fríalí a hanamsa. Ha café ag Muireann in sa bheile. Ha mi a gopur an sa café acha.
Now, I'm delighted to have been joined in the studio by another inspirational Gaelic learner, Mirren Buchanan. The mod was one of the first things to spark Mirren's interest in Gaelic, and things grew from there. But before we start chatting about her learning journey, let's find out a bit more about her.
Smisha Mirren Bochanan. I'm Mirren Buchanan. I'm a fyrwch yn y Glasgow cytiri mw Branner Inbhir agus mw chat hwci. I'm studying Gaelic and English linguistics at Glasgow University and I've started working in Gaelic media. Bí mé Jane of h-ath. I really like the creative process of making jewellery from these rings, beads and wires. I sell these online. Sin fan eile déise. Sauna Inbhir Theòrsa and Gaelic a ha mi hús. When the mod was in Thurso, it spurred me and my friends to play traditional music, and I started learning Gaelic. Bheidh mi Gaelic de lochiúnsa cís an ard scoil, agus thosaigh mé an sin. Stellam crochet kitchok. I find it quite a mindful activity. I've only recently started, but I love it, especially as I have an interest in sustainability and stopping fast fashion. When I was at university, I was diagnosed with functional neurological disorder, which sometimes presents itself as a fit or spasms or limb weakness. Crochet helps me because it reduces anxiety, which is the main cause of fits for me. Calum MacIlleathain. I enjoy communicating in Gaelic with my friends and have taught children Gaelic. Maybe I can include Gaelic in my crafts.
Mirren, fáil teort the speak Gaelic. Cimid a how?
Agadáil, cumid h-ath.
Gymma tapaidh. Now, it was lovely to hear you singing there. Do you find that singing helps with your learning?
Yeah, definitely. I actually learned to sing in Gaelic before I learned to speak in Gaelic. I went to the local féis and my mum and me met a lovely woman called Christine Stone, who I'm sure some people will know. And she taught me singing for many, many years. So I found that I think I actually sing with a very Lewis accent compared to when I'm speaking in Gaelic. I think I sound a bit different.
Now, the mod was obviously an inspiration for your learning. Can you tell us a wee bit more about that?
When the National Mod came to Thurso, all of my friends and all the people around me were going to learn Gaelic and learn traditional instruments, and I really wanted to join in. So when the mod was over, the local féis carried on, and that was definitely what got me into Gaelic. I think without the mod, I wouldn't be speaking Gaelic today.
Now, your language learning journey is really interesting. Can you tell us how you started learning it first?
Yeah, so unfortunately in my high school, Gaelic wasn't available as a subject because there were no teachers. But a few times over in Beathaichean, there was a really great Gaelic teacher called Mr. Miller, who I don't think I'd be able to speak Gaelic without him either. He was a huge inspiration for me learning Gaelic, and he's just one of the best teachers I've ever had for any subject.
Does studying English linguistics help with your Gaelic?
I think it's actually more like the other way around. I think having studied Gaelic, it really helped with linguistics by the time I came to university. Because I studied Gaelic as a learner, I had to learn all these grammatical things. So by the time I got to university, I could already see language as broken down into building blocks, which was really, really useful for linguistics, because that forms a lot of the foundational study of linguistics.
And have you found that there's been a breakthrough moment for your Gaelic learning?
I think working in a Gaelic industry has really, really helped. Being able to speak it every single day with loads of people who are fluent or at different stages of their learning journey too. I think that's been the most useful thing for me.
And do you ever get to speak Gaelic with your friends?
I do, yes. I have lots of Gaelic speaking friends. I was just in Barra for the weekend and it was so lovely because I felt so comfortable speaking Gaelic with them.
Can you tell us, do you have a special word or a favourite Gaelic phrase?
Yes, I do. My favourite Gaelic word, I need to watch I don't get this wrong, is Siorrachd, which I think means the sound of the sea rushing onto the sand. It was in my favourite Gaelic song, h-ath, which I did as a solo years and years ago. And I just like the onomatopoeia. And living in Glasgow, I always miss the sound of the sea, so I think it's nice.
Yes, Siorrachd is a wonderful Gaelic word. And Mirren, tapaidh go mór, thank you so much for coming to see us and good luck with your continued language learning journey.
Thank you.
Agus in ishe, han taumán a gáil an an cúideach Calum MacIlleathain, who's making new friends.
What has 18 hands but can't change its own shoes? It's an h-ath, a horse, an h-ath dal chluai to be precise. A Clydesdale horse, an h-ath dal chluai. And the hands, lavan, hands, well, it's a bit of a trick question, because hands are how you measure a horse's height from the ground to the top of the withers. That's like the shoulders. Un lav, one hand, un lav, ceithir orlich, 4 inches. Ceithir orlich. Let's see how I measured up. I'm about 3 diach lavan, 13 hands, 3 diach lavan. Not bad. Let's see how I measure up against these ich. That's plural of horses around here. Ich.
Gaelchluai have long been famed for their size and strength and exported around the world as working horses.
Hence the phrase, choláchir rí ech, as strong as a horse. Choláchir rí ech.
I've come to Blackstone Clydesdales in Siorrachd Àir, Ayrshire, to speak with John Duncan and to learn about these impressive animals.
What kind of things have they been used for over the years?
Mainly farming. They were here before the tractors and the machinery came in. They were used for anything you can think of that used to be mechanical. They used to be in the railways. They used to pull boats.
What makes them such a good workhorse?
Their temperament, and they're big, strong, strapping horses. Years ago, I would say your big horses would be about 16 hands, 15, 16 hands at the farms years ago. Now you're getting horses up in 18, 19 hands easily.
Today the farrier is replacing Clyde's crua, a horseshoe, crua.
Why do the horses wear shoes?
Well, it's mainly to stop their feet from wearing. They last about 6 weeks. You can take them on the road and they last 6 weeks. Whereas if they had no shoes on, you would only get maybe 6 miles at the horse's feet, and then that would be over. Because their feet would wear, it would make it very uncomfortable for the horse. So they need shoes.
I'm going to get a chance to lead one. What tips can you give me?
Well, the biggest tip, don't let them stand on your toes. Don't let them stand on your toes. Be natural, don't be feared for them. A horse can suss tension. I'll show you what to do, and we'll go through there.
After a quick instruction from John, I'm ready to go. Be me ceart go leor. I'll be all right. Be me ceart go leor. I need to remember John's advice. Don't let him stand on my toes. Be natural, don't be scared. I've got this. I think I'm doing all right. What do you think, Clyde?
h-ath ar a bhí scineal. This has been fantastic. h-ath ar a bhí scineal. You know, I've often been unsure about horses, but meeting Clyde has changed my mind a wee bit. With his 18 lavin and my 13, we make quite the team, don't we? I'm just happy that h-ath don't have to work so hard these days. Right, Jay ní mi nisha. What will I do now? Jay ní mi nisha. Here, bud. Come on, Clyde. You could come home with me. Do you like swimming, eh? Take you down here, beach.
Beathaichean íangandach. Amazing animals. Beathaichean íangandach. I'm so glad the horses didn't tread on Calum's toes and that he very much enjoyed himself. I wonder if he'll branch out into animal handling. We'll have to wait and see, but thanks to his efforts, we learned that the Gaelic for a horse is h-ath. The plural, horses, is ich, and hands are lavin. Lavin. Nisha, let's speak some more Gaelic. A bhfuil sibh díseal, bríní sin bican a bharach Gaelic. Earlier in the programme, we looked at how to say what it is you do for a living. For example, if you're a teacher. Hami na mo teacher. I'm a teacher. Hami na mo teacher. We're now going to look at a phrase that follows a similar pattern with mo, my, and do, your. To ask someone if they can hear you, for example, on the phone or online, it's Evelu gamo chloinchin. Can you hear me? Evelu gamo chloinchin. Remember that any word following mo is lenited or softened, as long as it begins with a letter that lenites, such as B, C, F, G, M, or P. You'll find more about this on our website. However, just as nammo is often shortened to nam, gamo is usually shortened to gam. So gamochlinchin changes and becomes gamchlinchin. Evelu gamchlinchin. Are you hearing me? Evelu gamchlinchin. Hearing you would be gatchlinchin. Gatchlinchin. So if you were hearing the person, you could say Hami gatchlinchin. I am hearing you. I can hear you. Hami gatchlinchin. Now, what if you want to ask whether someone can see you? The Gaelic for seeing is a feithgin. A feithgin. So to ask, can you see me? You would say Evilu gameichgin. Remember, because gamlanites the following word, it becomes gamaichean. And to say you can see someone, it's ha mi beathaichean. I am seeing you. Ha mi beathaichean. Let's listen out for some of these phrases in this next conversation.
Hello Elsie, Cymra Hashif.
Am I Cymra Barstan, bhruidhinn Gàidhlig.
Ha! Seo Alice, Carish Gam of Am, Alice, Seo Elsie, and that beathaichean.
Hello Elsie, am I toirt connechth?
Hello Alice, a bhfuil go with codar imadi.
Chanel, she teacher hanum.
Oh, a bhfuil na teacher an sa scoileach Marstan.
Chanel, ham in teacher an sa nárscoil.
Ha Alice the chickish kill. He dullharst listening go.
Oh, nachal sin ma.
Stilla Elsie kill. Hi ma shine.
Barstan.
And be she a shine?
Oh, stallam kill. Ach, chane teacher, no nach cúla hanum, she opricha social de vanam. Chane me go with in she.
A Welshif Gaelic. She cloiche der bal kosher him.
Barstan, be fekelach. Bhfuil am chleintsin.
A Welshif Gaelic. She recht der bal kosher him.
Captain Welshif a gopid.
Vami a gopid an a donation, agus an seo an a glasru.
Ba mishes an nó haid an opain, agus a nisha ham in teachers.
Ba me fiúr na teacher.
A bhí she a gopid.
Chanel ha ishe a nishe an a mule. Barstan, be fekelach. Bhfuil am chleintsin.
She strepet der him.
Han taumach am a gála gopid.
Ba ma cynne chorút Alice.
Julian drasta. A bharstan, han taumanus an lesson cúl.
And the len shivan corig of a shit. Did you follow that conversation? And the len shivan corig of a shit. Alice and Elsie's chat was continually interrupted by Marston, who shouted, "A bheilsibh Gaelic. Can you see me?" A bheilsibh Gaelic, as he pretended to be a football player and then a referee. She réite the bal kosher hunam. I'm a football referee. She réite the bal kosher hunam. However, Marston quickly became bored of football and decided to become a climber instead. She streipetare hunam. I'm a climber. She streipetare hunam. Elsie is concerned for Marston's safety and asks him to be careful. Be feichelach. Be careful. Be feichelach. But Marston doesn't pay much attention and Elsie has to make sure he heard her. A bhfuil am chleintsin. Are you hearing me? A bhfuil am chleintsin. Let's listen again to some of that conversation. And remember, you can watch all of the conversations in this series on our website, supported by bilingual transcriptions.
A Welshif Gaelic. She recht der bal kosher him.
Captain Welshif a gopid.
Vami a gopid an a donation, agus an seo an a glasru.
Ba mishes an nó haid an opain, agus a nisha ham in teachers.
Ba me fiúr na teacher.
A bhí she a gopid.
Chanel ha ishe a nishe an a mule. Barstan, be fekelach. Bhfuil am chleintsin.
She strepet der him.
Han taumach am a gála gopid.
Ba ma cynne chorút Alice.
Julian drasta. A bharstan, han taumanus an lesson cúl.
We've often mentioned the possessive words mo, tho, a, my, your, his and her, and their plurals ar for our, ur for your, and an for their. And mo, tho and a, my, your and his all unite the next word. They also appear, slightly disguised, in two other important constructions. First we have namnat, as in hami nam chochgede, I'm a chef, or a vilu nat teacher, are you a teacher? And secondly, gam gat ga, as in hami gam feichgin, I'm seeing them, or chanilmi gat chloinchin, I'm not hearing you. You can find all of the phrases and vocabulary we've looked at in this episode online, as well as lots of additional content to support your learning. Hamindachas gavile korstig reef a viga klechgig. I hope you enjoy using the website. Hamindachas gavile korstig reef a viga klechgig. Now let's take a quick look at some of the words and phrases we've covered. How to tell someone what your occupation is, using the phrase ha mi nam, aima, and whatever it is you do. Ha mi nam. In Seamus's case, he's a driver. Ha mi nam greiver. Ha mi nam greiver. We also learned to ask what it is you do. Are you a? Vilu nat. Vilu nat. For example, are you a teacher? Vilu nat teacher. Vilu nat teacher. And to say what someone else does using hai na, he's a hai na. Aundra is a crofter on Saturdays. Ha aundra na chroichtjer just saharnje. Ha aundra na chroichtjer just saharnje. We also learned how to ask if someone can hear you. Vilu gam chloinchin. Vilu gam chloinchin. And can you see me? Vilu gam meichgin. Vilu gam meichgin. As well as I can hear you. Ha mi gat chloinchin. Ha mi gat chloinchin. And I can see you. Ha mi gat deichgin. Ha mi gat deichgin. Remember, you'll find detailed learning materials on our website. You can watch all of the programmes in this series on BBC iPlayer and also download our podcasts from BBC Sounds. And if that's not enough, you can keep up with the latest learning on all of our social media platforms, where you can connect with like-minded learners. Until next time, cumh suas ur Gaelic. Keep up your Gaelic. Agus fiach gan bishif ga clechgig cha trich sa suringaif. Try to use it as much as you can. Mar sin leibh an drásta.